Some people dream about the future. Elon Musk builds it. From electric cars tearing down highways, to rockets landing gracefully back on Earth, to satellites beaming internet across the planet, he's the man turning science fiction into everyday life. But behind the headlines and billion-dollar valuations lies a story of obsession, risk, and an almost reckless refusal to accept limits. This is not just the story of a businessman. It's the story of someone who has made the impossible feel inevitable. Childhood in South Africa. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. His father, Errol Musk, was an engineer, and his mother, Mayi Musk, a Canadian model and dietitian. From the start, Elon's mind worked differently. He was shy, often lost in thought, and spent hours buried in books. At 9 years old, he read through an entire encyclopedia set twice. His curiosity often made him a target at school. Bullies saw his quiet nature as weakness, and he endured beatings so severe he once had to be hospitalized. But the isolation pushed him deeper into his own world, a place filled with ideas, inventions, and endless possibilities. Unknown fact: as a child, Elon once ran out of books to read at the local library and began working through the science section of the bookstore, reading for hours until he had to be asked to leave. Early love for technology. When he was just 10 years old, something changed everything. His father brought home a Commodore VIC-20 computer. Most kids would have played games. Elon learned to program. Within days, he was writing simple code, and at 12, he sold his first creation, a space-themed video game called Blastar, earning about $500. While it wasn't a fortune, it was proof that ideas in his head could become real, and that people would pay for them. Family life and early struggles. Life at home was complicated. His parents divorced when he was young, and Elon chose to live with his father, a decision he would later regret, describing the relationship as difficult and, at times, emotionally painful. Money was not always the issue, it was the environment. And perhaps that tension fueled his hunger to break free and build his own life on his own terms. Moving to Canada. By 17, Elon knew he didn't want to serve in the South African military, which at the time enforced apartheid policies he didn't agree with. Instead, he set his sights on North America. Thanks to his mother's Canadian citizenship, he secured a passport and moved to Canada in 1989. His early years there were anything but glamorous. He worked odd jobs, cleaning boilers, cutting logs, even shoveling grain in freezing conditions. Anything to pay the bills while attending Queen's University in Ontario.
Unknown fact: one summer, Elon took a job at a lumber mill that required crawling into a narrow tunnel to clean out boilers filled with dangerous dust, a task so unpleasant that even seasoned workers avoided it. College life in the USA. After 2 years in Canada, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. There, he earned 2 bachelor's degrees, one in physics, the other in economics. But his time at Penn wasn't just about lectures and exams. He rented a large frat house with a roommate, and in a very Elon twist, turned it into an unofficial nightclub to help pay rent. It was also during this time that he began crafting a personal roadmap. First, make enough money to create big projects. Then, tackle problems that could change humanity's future: the internet, sustainable energy, and space travel. He didn't just want to be rich. He wanted to be useful. Dropping out for the future. In 1995, Elon was accepted into a PhD program in applied physics at Stanford University, but he lasted just 2 days. The internet was exploding, and Elon believed it would be one of the most transformative forces in human history. Why study theory for years when the world was shifting in real time? He dropped out, determined to start a business that could ride the wave. Unknown fact: Elon once admitted that during those early days, he couldn't even afford an apartment, so he slept in his office and showered at a local gym. Zip2, first big break. Elon, along with his brother Kimball and friend Greg Khoury, started Zip2, a company that helped newspapers offer city guides and maps online. This was back when most people didn't even have an email address. The startup began in a small rented office. Elon coded at night, pitched during the day, and often ate cheap takeout to save every dollar. After years of grinding, Compaq bought Zip2 in 1999 for $307 million. His share? $22 million. He was 27 years old. Most people would take that kind of money and relax. Elon doubled down.
X.com and PayPal. With part of his fortune, he launched X.com, an online bank that aimed to revolutionize payments. It was risky. Banking was heavily regulated, and few people trusted sending money through the internet. But X.com's convenience began winning people over. A merger with a rival company turned X.com into PayPal. Elon was briefly CEO before being replaced while on vacation, a decision that stung but didn't slow him down. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Elon walked away with about $180 million. Unknown fact: despite being ousted from PayPal, Elon remained the company's largest shareholder at the time of its sale, a fact that made him one of the biggest winners in the deal. Betting it all on space. With his newfound wealth, Elon could have lived comfortably forever, but instead, he looked to the stars. Literally. He founded SpaceX, or Space Exploration Technologies, in 2002 with the goal of making space travel affordable and eventually enabling humans to live on other planets. His reasoning was bold. If humanity wanted to survive long-term, it needed to become a multi-planetary species. The early years of SpaceX were brutal. Rockets exploded. Money burned. By 2008, after 3 failed launches, the company was weeks away from bankruptcy. The 4th launch. Then came the 4th attempt, the Falcon 1 rocket. This time, it succeeded. NASA took notice, awarding SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. The lifeline saved the company and cemented its place in the space industry. Unknown fact: Elon has said that after the 3rd rocket failure, he had just enough money to fund 1 more launch. If it failed, SpaceX would have died. Entering the electric arena. Tesla. While SpaceX was still in its infancy, Elon was already eyeing another revolution: electric cars. In 2004, he invested in a small startup called Tesla Motors, founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Elon didn't start the company, but he quickly became its public face, chairman, and later CEO. At the time, electric cars had a terrible reputation. They were slow, ugly, and had laughable range. Tesla wanted to change that. Its first car, the Tesla Roadster, shocked the world with sleek design and the ability to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. Still, Tesla faced enormous challenges: production delays, financial crises, and constant skepticism from the auto industry. Unknown fact:
In the early days of Tesla, Elon personally called some customers to apologize for delivery delays and even helped troubleshoot car issues himself. The 2008 crisis. By 2008, the global financial crisis hit hard. Tesla was bleeding cash. SpaceX was nearly out of money, and Elon was on the edge of losing everything. He poured in his remaining personal fortune, splitting the last of it between his two companies. For months, he lived with the real possibility that both ventures would fail. But luck and timing turned. Tesla secured investment just before Christmas. SpaceX won the NASA contract. Elon had survived the storm. Solar City, power from the sun. In 2006, even before Tesla's struggles, Elon co-founded Solar City with his cousins Lyndon and Peter Rive. The goal was to make solar energy affordable for homeowners and businesses. Solar City grew into one of the largest solar providers in the United States. Later, Tesla would acquire Solar City, folding it into Tesla Energy. This move expanded Elon's vision beyond cars to an entire clean energy ecosystem: electric vehicles, home batteries, and solar power. Model S and mainstream success. In 2012, Tesla released the Model S. It wasn't just an electric car, it was a statement. The Model S won countless awards, was praised for performance and safety, and began shifting public perception of EVs. Elon's gamble was paying off. Unknown fact: Elon once described the Model S as the most fun thing you could ever buy, a statement that became part of Tesla's marketing charm.
Neuralink, merging minds with machines. By 2016, Elon had another daring vision: connecting the human brain directly to computers. He co-founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology company aiming to develop brain-computer interfaces. The ultimate goal? Help people with neurological disorders and eventually allow humans to merge with artificial intelligence. Unknown fact: Elon has said that one inspiration for Neuralink came from science fiction novels he read as a teenager, especially those imagining telepathy through technology. Neuralink's work is still in its early stages, but they've already demonstrated brain implants in animals and are pushing toward human trials. The Boring Company, digging for the future. In 2016, frustrated by Los Angeles traffic, Elon tweeted about starting a tunnel boring company. Most thought it was a joke. Weeks later, he launched The Boring Company. Its goal? Build underground tunnels for high-speed transportation. One of its first projects, the Las Vegas Convention Center loop, has already been completed, carrying passengers in Teslas through tunnels. While critics question its scalability, Elon sees it as a way to revolutionize urban transportation. Starlink, internet for the whole planet. Through SpaceX, Elon launched Starlink, a project to provide global satellite internet. Tens of thousands of small satellites are being placed into orbit, creating a network that could connect even the most remote areas of the world. Starlink has already proven crucial in disaster zones and war-torn regions where traditional internet infrastructure is damaged or absent. Unknown fact: Elon once joked that Starlink was the most complex project we've ever done, and that's saying something coming from the guy building rockets. Controversies and public persona. Elon Musk's journey hasn't been without turbulence. He's been involved in Twitter spats, made bold and sometimes reckless statements, and faced criticism over labor practices at Tesla and his management style. His 2018 tweet about taking Tesla private led to a settlement with the SEC. Still, his willingness to speak directly to the public, often bypassing PR teams, keeps him in the headlines.
Personal life and beliefs. Elon Musk's personal life has been as eventful as his career. He has been married multiple times, is a father to several children, and openly speaks about the importance of having more kids to sustain humanity's future. Unknown fact: Elon named one of his children X-A12, later modified to XAEAXII, combining references to mathematics, technology, and an aircraft model. Elon is known to work extremely long hours, often sleeping in his factories to be close to production. Friends describe him as relentless, a man who pushes himself and others to extremes to achieve what seems impossible. Vision for the future. For Elon Musk, the ultimate goal isn't just building companies, it's securing the future of humanity. He dreams of cities on Mars, fully sustainable energy, AI that works in harmony with people, and a world where transportation is fast, clean, and accessible to all. Unknown fact: despite his futuristic mindset, Elon has said he fears humanity could end up in a new dark age if we don't handle technology and resources wisely. Whether you see him as a visionary genius or a controversial risk-taker, his impact on the world is undeniable. The final push. From a curious boy in South Africa who loved books and computers, to the man launching rockets, building electric cars, and planning for life on Mars, Elon Musk has lived a life that feels more like a movie than reality.
Unknown fact: Elon once tried to sell a video game he created at age 12 and actually got paid $500 for it. His story is a reminder that innovation is often born from stubborn belief and relentless work. He has failed, been laughed at, and faced near bankruptcy, but each time he's stood up again. Motivational outro. If Elon's life teaches us anything, it's this: you don't have to wait for permission to change the world. You don't have to start with billions, you just have to start. Every big dream begins with a small step, taken by someone who refuses to quit. Thank you for listening to this story of Elon Musk. If you found it inspiring, make sure to hit the like button, share it with friends, and subscribe so you don't miss the next incredible journey we'll explore together. And in the comments, tell us, if you had Elon's resources, what's the one big problem you'd solve first?